Yeah. Turn that. Wow, can't even turn that down anymore. I will. Oh, wait. I'll have to turn down Firefox. Turn it down even more. Turn it down even more. It's morning time, baby. Yes, 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 I know. I gotta drink my coffee before it goes cold. Oh, heavens me. Dios mío. Turn you down even more. Force everyone to turn up their volume. What in the heck am I even drawing over here? Oh, it's something good. Oh, it's something good. You don't even know how good. Very good. Mi madre texts me funny things in the morning. That's not the right. There's the. What's unfortunate about this building I'm drawing right now is that these lines here are just like just stand-ins. And what I'm gonna have to do with these later is I'm going to need to take a texture brush and brush over the straight line. I think I can do it. But it's the type of deal where I'm taking a more textured brush like this one. I'm going along the line like, and you just gotta be really careful. Is what it is though. It looks a lot better that way. Gotta give it a nice rocky vibe because this is meant to be a rock. Okay, luckily I don't have to hit that side. The door is ajar. Door is ajar. There we go. But in this case, I already take my texture brush. What was that one game? One Shot. That game One Shot. I should look up the music for that as well. And the music for Celeste. You know what I had no idea about? And this maybe makes me sound really stupid. But I had no idea. I didn't have a freaking clue that Celeste, that the main character in Celeste was trans. I didn't even know that. And for like the first however many years that Celeste was out, nobody talked about that. Everybody said like, oh my god, Celeste is so great because it's about like, well, first of all, because it's just a really fun game, and I can't attest to that. I was playing it with a friend on call, and I kept fucking up the jumps, which should surprise nobody that's ever seen my streams. And I was just fucking up left and right. Then I was making these like really aggressive grunting noises, like type of sounds. And my roommate sent me a message. It was basically saying like, dude, if you're gonna do that, be quiet. And I'm like, just for fuck's sake. It's a great game though, but that's my only memory associated with Celeste. It's great, but yeah, people often talk about Celeste and they only say two things. One, oh my god, it's so hard. It's like a retro game. I love it. It hurts to play. It's my favorite. Please more, mommy, please. Or they say it's a wonderful game. It's about depression. And I mean, that's cool in its own right. But nobody ever mentioned that the main character was like was trans, not once. It was only when my trans boyfriend brought it up that I was like, oh. It's the type of thing where I feel like nobody knew it for like a long time. Like nobody was aware. Or at least if people were aware, it would be unseemly to mention. It's just so bizarre. Or this is just me making up for how unobservant I am. I could have been at the forefront of every single discussion about Celeste and I never would have known. Ah, heavens. Yeah, I should turn on some Celeste music in a bit. For now, this is just Cave Story. I wonder if I should get one of those, like... I wouldn't know how to do this, because I get all this audio from YouTube. But, you know, one of those little, like, music box things that's, like, on screen, and it says, like, you are playing this music. And then people can go, wow, I want to look up the music now, because I know what it is. And you just go, damn right you know what it is. You know what it is because I put up that little music box thing. You know why I did that? Because I care about you. I want you to know what music I'm listening to. When I'm doing anything, when I'm gaming, when I'm making art, walking around my kitchen, like wondering what the hell am I doing with my life? Anything. Any time of the day I'm playing music. I'm much like that dude from Baby Driver, if that's the plot of Baby Driver. Is Baby Driver just kind of like Hi-Fi Rush, but has like a lamer story? That's not fair. I've never seen Baby Driver. It's probably really good. I remember when Baby Driver came out, I didn't want to watch it. Strictly because all my friends were telling me to watch it. I was being a little shitlord. I was being super defiant, like, oh man, you want me to watch this thing that you're really sure is like gonna be great? Ugh, I bet it's awful. You know, just being a total hipster in every regard. But that attitude permeated to this very day. I still haven't watched it, so I guess I'm still a hipster. Too cool for an Edgar Wright movie. Listen, all I'm saying is that he sold out. He made Ant-Man, and then completely dropped the ball. You know what? I've never even seen Ant-Man. That's the thing about a lot of... I mean, alright, I won't stick too long on the discussion of Marvel movies, because I know that is something that... it's a very exhausting conversation nowadays. But a lot of those, like, B or C characters in the Marvel franchise, like, for example, Ant-Man. I don't know, it's like, I feel bad for people that really love Ant-Man. Because movies like that come out and you're just like, it's whatever, it's fine. I certainly can't call it terrible. Well, actually, I can't call it anything. I've never seen it. But just based on, like, my brief recollections of it, it seems like it's not terrible, but it's, like, boring. The thing I love the most about the Marvel movies is all the little production stories. It seems like Disney's just started looking worse and worse since they bought Marvel. Since they, like, Disney's been looking worse since they bought Marvel and started making those live action movies. Like, I swear to God, before they did both of those things, anybody I talked to about Disney would say, like, I love Disney. Disney's amazing. Like, they make the best movies. They're great. And when Disney bought Pixar, people were still saying the same thing. They're like, I love Disney. Oh my God. And they bought Pixar too? That's great. They're going to make great movies. like, what was it? Movies like Moana would come out, and then half the population would be saying, "This is dog shit, I hate it, I wish Disney would go back to being good." And then the other half would be like, "I love this is a great movie." So there was like an actual legitimate discussion to it. Nowadays, anybody that I talk to online will tell you Disney's horrible for like hundreds of reasons. The thing about Disney, is that I feel like any company that gets like as big as Disney is going to make a million terrible decisions, because you're so big and you're an amalgamation of many different leaders, you know? Like, I remember a discussion somebody once had where like the United States should not be led by a president, it should be led by a group of people, which is, I mean, I guess that's basically Congress, but in any case, in that same kind of fashion, there shouldn't be one like leader of a company, it should be like a collective at all times. I don't know, because at least when we're talking about like art, it's like the vision gets muddled somewhere in the middle when you're dealing with so many bodies at once. Huge companies, I always assume, are subject to more errors than a bigger company, for example. But there I go again, because I just want more like independent developers and filmmakers to make their mark on the world. Being a working stiff today, eh? Wait, what's a working stiff? I'm a working man. Also, hello, Skylar. But yeah, if there was ever a time where I thought like, oh man, Disney's great, they can do no wrong, that definitely has changed the bigger they get. And I think that's also the case with, you know, stuff like game companies. I'm sure there was a time where not only me, but every one of you used to like EA. Like, used to think EA's a great company. They made Prince of Persia, and they made like Assassin's Creed 2, and you know, like, and published like all these games that were so good and so fun. And now it's crazy to think like, oh yeah, they got so big that they just became stinky. I'd like to imagine, or not even imagine, I'd like to brainstorm on like what companies, big companies, are not making massive fuck-ups. Because I feel like a huge company is just bound to do that. That's just what you need to come to expect. And not tolerate it, I'm not saying that, but to expect it and to not be like surprised by it. Let me actually think, like, what is a huge company that I guess I haven't heard any bad things about. I mean, I guess I have heard bad things about Nintendo, but not in a massive sense. Like, the things Nintendo does wrong aren't that bad compared to everyone else. They're relatively minor, honestly. It's stuff like them making a subscription service for N64. That one is pretty stinky, yeah. It's the type of thing where you get like one guy to pay for it, and then you and a group of people all contribute to the Nintendo pile. Company I work for. Your other job, on the other hand, mate. Oh, wait, what were you saying? An ordinary person whose job is not very interesting, though I guess doing this art doesn't count for that. It's true. Oh, other job. Yeah, no, my part-time job, I'm sinking into it. Like the day-to-day mundanity of it. I don't mind it. Don't forget the whole thing where they tried to make people give them a percentage of ad revenue. It's true. Although they went back on that. They stopped doing that. Nintendo had an awful thing a few years ago back related to Let's Plays and monetization. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's it though. And they went back on that too. Like, you still should keep an eye on them, you know. Don't let a big company off that easy, because they could easily go back and be like, oh, okay, well, let's just, especially nowadays, because YouTube has a thing that they do now where if a video gets copyright struck, there's an option, and you don't get to choose this is up to the business. There's an option where you and the company that owns the copyright can share the monetization. I highly doubt it's 50-50. But a couple of my streams were copyright struck, but I share the monetization with the company. There's like some percentage that we both share. If Nintendo wanted to manipulate that, they easily could. They could take every single stream that I have that has Animal Crossing music and just be like, oh, well, we're going to share this 50, or we're going to share this like 90-10. You're the 10. Even though that's like completely fucked up and that sucks, but it's possible. It's possible. They hate emulation. That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, that's why they made the store, didn't they? Yeah. That's the, I certainly don't have the money for it, but I've been on a real, like, hipster kick where I'm getting retro games. In my last stream, I showed a lot of my retro. I am fucking sick of drawing this. I'm moving on to something else. I showed a lot of my retro, like Wii games. And it just got me into the spirit of like, man, you know, emulation can be really difficult and annoying, but so now that I have a capture card, I want to start doing more like actual console games. So I've been going on eBay and I've been looking around like what's good Wii games? What are good like PlayStation 3 games? You know, the type of games that emulating is just a huge pain in the ass. I haven't checked in a while actually. How much is Silent Hill Homecoming? Because I tried to stream Silent Hill Homecoming on the PC, and it just did not work. I've never seen Sega care about old games or music. Sega greater than Nintendo. You know what? Has Sega done anything bad lately? Would you call Sega a big company, though? Silent Hill Homecoming PS3. $30? $25? I could play this. Only if there's like, you know, any demand at all for it, or if it seems like it'd be kind of fun to play. People say Silent Hill Homecoming isn't really that bad. It sure does, but Nintendo don't. That's right. I really gotta go and I gotta play some more like Sega Genesis games. I have no idea like if any of them are good or not. Because that's the thing about retro games, right? It's that you tell yourself like, oh my god, I love like Mario Bros 3. Mario Bros 3 is a perfect game. But anytime I go and play it, I'm just like, this is fine. This is okay. But I think I'd rather play Celeste or a more contemporary side scroller. It's like, I mean, not to be rude, but it really seems like some of the love for games like Super Mario Bros. 3 mostly come from nostalgia. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. It's appreciating history. And that's and that's great, you know. You got to appreciate your history, especially if you like games. You want to examine history. But when I really think about it, I don't know. There's not a lot of Nintendo games or Super Nintendo games that I'm just itching to play. I'd say Sega's big. They're not Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft. But they have AAA. Okay. They even have Sonic movies. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere then. Sega good. Sega good. Sega got big D's. I think so. I think what we're learning here is that Sonic wins. Sonic wins. Sonic is the best. My roommate the other day came home with 2 DVD copies of the Sonic movie. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. He has DVD copies, so now they're just in our apartment. And I think that's fucking beautiful, man. Those Sonic movies are better than you think. Thing is, though, they're still not very good. Don't think Twitch chat is working? What the fuck? Oh my god, I gotta fiddle with Restream. I think I even know why. Did it? No, it is streaming to Twitch. It's just the chat's fucking up. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that later. Yeah, sorry guys. I think I know why. I think I changed my name on Twitch to Dratty TV because before it was just Dratty __, which didn't look very good. But yeah, that may have messed up the chat. Sorry. What was I talking about? It was like, oh yeah, the Sonic movies. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. They're really simple pleasures, if you know what I mean. Like, it's just nice to see Sonic on screen, and I think they characterized him pretty damn well. Like, I think they put in like a lot of effort to make him an actual likable character with like a backstory and like a personality and like goals and hopes and dreams. You know, they actually made a real movie out of it that was decently interesting, whereas they could have done like bare fucking minimum and it would have been a huge disaster. And I say this all the time, but I do hate the idea that people wanted it to be a trash fire just to continue the meme that Sonic is garbage. He becomes a real underdog nowadays because everybody wants to just like dunk on him. Now here's a question though that probably already know the answer to it. Will the Mario movie be better than the Sonic movie? Probably, because I think it has a bigger budget. Even resubbed on Twitch. Yeah, thank you, Nami, for resubbing. I'm trying to... I don't know why somehow Twitch keeps fucking disconnecting from my restream, but I'm gonna fix the chat. I am. I'm also trying to stream more because of people like you who are like resubbing. I want to actually like use my channel more, make it worth it. Gun movies are good, very faithful. Yeah, I think so too. No, because of Chris Pratt. Oh, Pratty, baby, please. Sonic and the Chippendales Rescue Ranger movie is honestly glorious. I hear like mixed things about it. That Chippendales movie looks like fucking trash just by looking at it. But some people are like, oh man, this is like genius. I don't know what to think. I'm almost afraid to watch the movie. I'm just like, I feel like this is gonna be so obnoxious. Because the whole movie is just references, isn't it? Like, it's just them making a whole bunch of references, and it's like, yo. That was funny when YouTubers did it in, like, 2009. Like, just make references and that's it. I don't know if it hits the same when it's Chippendale Rescue Rangers, a cartoon I never watched. Based on the trailer, I'm not huge on the voice acting humor in general. I think it would be enjoyable, probably nothing amusing. The trailer didn't really show the best parts there. Do love Jack Black as Bowser. Yeah, no, that... With each trailer, I'm becoming more and more interested in the Mario movie. I mean, I want it to be good, of course. It's funny too, because like when I was a child, me, like probably billions of other children, wrote scripts for a Mario movie. And this is sort of in the ballpark of that script, which I just find amusing. That like a script I wrote as a child is essentially being recreated now by a professional studio. You know what else is funny? I wrote a script when I was like 14 or maybe like 13. I wrote a script of the Resident Evil sequel, like the sequel to Resident Evil 5. And let me just tell you the script real quick. So it takes place in a city, just like Resident Evil 2 and 3. It takes place in a city, and the zombie outbreak has gone wild. Umbrella releases the Las Plagas on like a city, and every member of the main cast of every game shows up. So we're talking Leon, Ada, Chris, Jill, everyone comes back. They all meet up in this city to stop the zombie menace. And each character has their own like mission that they have to solve with like overlapping conflicts. Like, you know, Chris will be doing like one thing and then he'll come around the corner and be like, "Whoa, Leon, what are you doing here?" etc., etc. Now, does this conflict and this story at all sound exactly like Resident Evil 6? It kind of blew my mind when that game came out because I was like, wait, I know this. I fucking wrote this. I wrote this, and that's a bad thing. Because I wrote it when I was like a 13-year-old. The secret to enjoying something is to expect nothing. That way you can't be disappointed. That's a line from Final Fantasy VIII, and I appreciate that, Nami. You're not wrong, though. Chip 'n Dale movies just references. It was too meta for me, my liking. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. If you want to watch the Chip 'n Dale movie, I recommend just having someone to watch it with you so you can have some fun pointing out the references. That was me at the tail end of the Space Jam 2 movie. That Space Jam 2 movie was so goddamn boring and stupid, but I remember like the ending bit, like the ending basketball game. I was just pointing into the background and being like, "Oh shit, that's fucking Pennywise the Clown from It. Oh man, there's the Iron Giant, etc., etc." What was the moral at the end of that dumbass movie? That like, oh, the cartoon characters need to play basketball for real or something? Like, it's like, you need to learn how real basketball works. And then there was a step back glitch. Which, by the way, I love how it was framed that LeBron James... It was LeBron James, right? Yeah. Yeah. I like how it was framed that LeBron James was being a shitty parent, and because he played his son's game for like 2 seconds, stepped backwards, and that somehow broke his whole game. And then LeBron James is like, "Oh, I just don't understand kids." Also, I'm sorry, but like the going into the quote-unquote computer world, or the server verse, or whatever you want to call it, that has not been cool since like anime stopped doing it in the early 2000s. That's the last time it was ever cool. Like, what was that one movie made by the dudes that made Digimon, and it was already like a kind of a Digimon-esque movie? It was such a fun film. It was Summer Wars, yeah. After Summer Wars, no one's allowed to make a movie talking about the computer world. You gotta make the internet something else. Every movie afterwards has been lame, and then they made the metaverse, which just makes it even more lame and dystopian because now it's real. Space Jam. Yeah, Puffy the Destroyer. I liked Space Jam 1. I did. I'll be back when I'm on PC. Okay, Nami. Sorry about Twitch. I'm gonna get it fixed by the next stream. Yeah, here's hoping that Mario movie's good. I think it comes out this month, doesn't it? I think it does. Does it come out close to my birthday? Oh, dude, that would be killer. You won't be able to watch it till the 14th? Wait, when does it come out? Mario movie. Theaters today? What? When's this motherfucker release? When's it dropping in theaters? April 5th? Okay, so tomorrow for me. Huh. Shit. Alright, well. You know what? If, my roommate works over at a movie theater, he should hook me up. Hook me up with some free tickets to Mario the movie. It was going to be the 7th. They honestly should have kept it at the 7th. Isn't that a Friday? Would have been perfect. All the kids get off school and then they go and watch the Mario movie. I think kids will like the Mario movie. That's always the thing, right? Like, even if a movie is shitty in the eyes of an adult, kids are just not that critical. It's like I can complain as... That's what always makes discussions about the Sonic movie so infuriating. Because you'll want to talk about it and, you know, be constructive about like a franchise you're invested in artistically, and then every fucking big-brained, fucking head swollen with knowledge, Jordan Peterson watching MF comes in to remind you that it's for children, and so, which basically implies it's inherently a stupid movie down to its core. It was designed to be stupid and therefore exempt from criticism. That does become annoying because it's not entirely true. Like, it was any movie, regardless of whether it's appropriate for children or not. Any movie or property or show, whatever, it was made by intelligent adults, hopefully. Intelligent adults that were going for something. Going for like a specific mood. And yeah, they're also trying to market towards children, but can an adult not look at that and appreciate it artistically the same way the adults that designed it were hopefully trying to make it worth appreciation? Like, I'm thinking of stuff like Gravity Falls. That's a fine show. Fine show that came out not too long ago, within the past decade. And I wholeheartedly enjoyed it when I was in my early 20s. It was the type of show that even made me think about, like, okay, how is a show written? How do I approach, like, writing and theming the way Gravity Falls done? Like, it genuinely got me thinking. Ah, yes, the age-old question. Yeah, yeah. I think it consistently comes up because it's so... It's almost like embarrassing to argue. Like, oh, why can't I complain that the Thundercats cartoon series is like dog shit? Why can't I say that? Why can't Dratty make a video where he complains about Teen Titans Go? Why can't he do that? In any case, though, it's the Mario movie's probably going to be fine. I hope that Mario movie is good, because then we're already going to have like 2 adaptations that are good. Resident Evil 4 and then the Mario movie. I'd consider the Mario movie to be sort of an adaptation, because all the adults that are going to it, they're going to be looking for references and judging, like, okay, did they do a good job with this reference? Did they do a bad job? How'd they do? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely go check out Avatar in order. It's a lot more interesting when you're watching it in order, because they definitely put all the pieces together slowly but surely, and the world really opened up. I recommend that one, yeah. Avatar is probably the best example of a show for children and adults. A show slash movie slash game being family friendly doesn't mean it's strictly for children. Let's just say there's a difference between Sonic and Peppa Pig, if you catch my drift. It's so true. It's so true. I mean, if we're talking about video games, most Mario games can be enjoyed by everybody. Could I criticize a Mario game for having, like, bad level design or like bad controls, or like, oh, isn't it obnoxious how Nintendo puts gimmicks in like all their games nowadays? Like, it's so annoying and it kind of ruins the experience. Can I say all of that and then somebody will just kind of slide right in and tell me, yeah, but Mario's for like kids, dude, so like why do you even care? I don't think that works. I don't think it does. Because most people accept that Mario is like a game for everyone. Ooh. You know what? I say that, but do they? Because now I'm remembering all those commercials in the 90s and 2000s that were like, oh man, Nintendo? That's for babies, man. Get Sega. Oh, poor Sega. They made Sonic and the Black Knight. You know what's one show that people will consistently say, like, oh, it's cool for children and adults, is Adventure Time. And I gotta say, I didn't get into Adventure Time. I don't know what it was about it, but it just did not do it for me. There was like a handful of episodes that did do it for me. Absolutely. The fucking Marceline song, that absolutely did it for me. That was a great episode. The whole episode too, not just the song at the end. I loved that. Most stuff with the Ice King I was heavily invested in, but like, what was it, Bubblegum Princess? I fucking hated her. Even when people try to explain to me why she's actually a good character, I don't care. I fucking hate her. She's so obnoxious. It's the type of thing where you tried to be really clever with your bitchy character and try to like justify why they're just so goddamn shitty and manipulative. And then I hear the explanation and I'm like, that's great. I still hate every second they're on screen. They're annoying. But hey, just not my thing, I guess. Oh, also, I like the gender swap episode. That was very cute. You know what? Now that I'm explaining all of this, like I'm laying this all out, it's making me want to go and watch Adventure Time and kind of re-experience it. The last time I saw it was 2014, I think. 2014, 2013. That's a while ago, man. Kind of makes me want to check it out and see if I'll like it nowadays. Because there's quite a few shows that I remember thinking, man, I'm just not getting into this. Full Metal Alchemist is one of them. Where I just was having like such a hard time getting like invested. And then I put it down for a while, came back to it, and then I could get invested. Then I was like, oh my god, this is great. Yeah. Adventure Time ran away with itself. Yeah, like, that's definitely one thing I remember about it. Maybe I will go back and enjoy it, but I remember thinking, like, what's the plot here? It feels like it's changing all the time. Also remember that like the first season of Adventure Time I really, really hated. Because it just had like all this really dumbass humor. But to be fair, I was really invested in Steven Universe, and its first season was, let me remind everyone, 50 episodes long. And the humor never did it for me either. Steven Universe was never like funny, I don't think. But it was cute. Like, it was very good at cutesy and lovable moments that I guess I would classify as funny, because I thought of them as funny. I don't know. That's difficult to say. Like, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there's definitely moments where they were clearly going for some kind of joke. But, then there's moments where they're really definitely telling a joke, and it shows. Like, what am I thinking of here? Like, okay, well, in the first season, there was this one episode, what the hell was it called? Cheeseburger Backpack. And God, I remember like sitting through that whole thing and being like, this is just so goddamn obnoxious. It's funny too, because like, there's plenty of other episodes of Steven Universe, even in season 1, that were not obnoxious. Just they were having a bad day in the writer's room, I guess. Just couldn't get across whatever the hell they were going for with Cheeseburger Backpack. That episode, for those that have never seen it, that episode, they include a reference to Full House, a sitcom from the 90s. And the Steven Universe says, like, you got it, dude. Which is something one of the Olsen twins say in Full House. And then immediately afterwards, Pearl makes like a stupid face and then goes like, yeah. It's not good. It does not come across as funny or charming or anything. It's just really, really awkward. I remember going through Cheeseburger Backpack with a friend and just complaining about it. It was fun though. It was good, yeah. That's the type of thing that would probably be only fun for the both of us, and it would not be enjoyable to anyone else. That would be the sort of thing where somebody would be justified in saying, like, why do you care so much? Because that whole episode was like such a nothing burger too. Oh, that the penguin was... Wait, I didn't know that. That part of the plot was lost on me. Heavens me. Full House, Fuller House, but where's the fullest house? The house within us all. Yeah, they made a squeakquel to Full House, which is, you know, it's quite the bold move. Wait, when you run, oh no, I see. Sorry for that little digression. I had to remember how to run. Yeah. The squeakquel. Yeah, that's right. Full House the Squeakquel. Full House the Squeakening. Anyone remember Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel? You know, it's probably a better question. Has anyone watched Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel, or Alvin and the Chipmunks the original live-action movie? Or the Garfield live-action movie? Oh, you did watch them when you were... Oh. I'm probably like a little bit older than you, because when those movies came out, I remembered being like a cynical teenager and thinking like, oh my god, all of Hollywood is going down the drain. I can't believe that there's such terrible movies in this world. How are we going to progress as a society when fucking the Chipmunks live action movie is coming out? I was such a like fucking channel awesome watching piece of shit. Complaining about how like the Mass Effect movie was going to cause like the downfall of humanity as we know it. Yeah, I remember specifically complaining about the Mass Effect movie, which never happened. Shoulda kept that in mind. I actually made a video on my YouTube channel about the Mass Effect movie, And it was so goddamn stupid and horrible that I have it unlisted. Not deleted, mind you, just unlisted. Starting to get to the tail end of the cave story. Let's do some Persona 5. Seen both the live action Garfield movies. Ooh. God, I've seen none of them. You got heroes up in here.
You're back.
Garfield is a cool character, alright? And nobody can prove me otherwise. You wanna know why Garfield's a cool character? Because he's upset. Like me. He's uncontent with the world that he lives in. But you know what? He's also confident. Garfield needs you to measure up to his standards, okay? It's not that this world can't improve. That's not what Garfield's saying. What he's saying is that it's not improving. But it can. It can always be better. You want to know how Garfield knows that it can be better? He's better. Garfield's better. Garfield's better than me. Better than you. And you gotta step up. Yeah, I never liked Garfield growing up. Like, I never ever thought that the cartoons or even the comics were funny. I thought they were just like the lamest shit on earth. Like, I used to go to cafes all the time with my family growing up. Like, there'd be some morning on probably the weekend where Ma or Dad would be like, I don't want to cook. Let's go to a cafe. And we'd be like, fuck yeah, yeah, yay. And we go there. And every time we'd go, my dad, this, you know, they still have these nowadays, but this feels very retro to bring up. We'd go to the cafe and my dad would get a paper. He'd put in some coins into a newspaper machine. Remember those? Are you guys too young to remember a newspaper machine? You popped in like $1 in quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, and then there'd be a door, and it would not open unless you put in 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, and then you pulled it down. And my dad would reach in and he'd get a newspaper, and Dad would read the news, and he would do the crossword. He only would do the crossword. He hated doing like Sudoku or any of that other stuff. But I would always ask him, Dad, can I have the comics? Because I wanted to read comics. And in there was stuff like Zits, fucking this one about a fish. I don't remember the names. I'm so bad with names. There was like 3 or 4 that were just about like family life. I think like Good Feels? No, what am I? I'm just thinking of Garfield, aren't I? But Garfield was a part of it. He was in there too. And I classified him as a child. I classified him down there with like Marmaduke and Family Circus as just like comics that are not good. They were the comics I would skip. I would look at Garfield and I'd be like, ugh, no, I'm gonna skirt past that one. That being said, though, out of every comic that I would skip, out of every single one, I would always give Garfield a chance. I'd always tell myself, like, oh, this episode of Garfield looks like a little bit interesting. Let's crack it open and see what they're doing. Like, I would really try and see if they're making something interesting this time around. And usually they didn't. But I gave him a chance. And I think Garfield is in the same situation as like Sonic the Hedgehog, where you can't deny its lack of quality in places, but it makes up for it by just Garfield being such a striking design. He's perfect for marketing. He's got like such a good and interesting like shape to him. And I think that really sells it. It's the same with Sonic too. He's got such a fun design. Question, what is Sudoku? It's a, also, hi, Orphle. It's like this puzzle game where you have, one big square that has 6 squares inside of it, and each of those 6 squares have 6 more squares inside of them. Each individual square has a number between 1 to 9, and you have to fill in all the numbers from 1 to 9 into each square that's inside of each square that's inside of each square. And if you do it correctly, all the numbers will sync up with each other. Like the 1, 2, 3, 4, they all have to be lined up in such a way that you can count them in sequence from 1 to 9. It's a real brain tickler. I do not find it interesting though. You know, it's sad when I can praise Capcom for keeping both the OG Resident Evil 4 alongside the remake for sale. Meanwhile, Epic delists almost every Unreal game from the platform. Even the OGs. I heard about that. That sucks. On to something about strong design, because Sonic and Garfield have crossovered for like a PC release a long time ago. I'm just saying. Although, I will say, unlike Sonic, most of Garfield's attempts at making TV shows have not ended great. Whereas I would argue most of Sonic's TV shows are either pretty good or fine. There's probably one bad. One like really, really bad, and that's Sonic Underground. That one I'd say is like unwatchable. Like it's just really obnoxious and shitty. But that one Sonic cartoon that was just like a weird Wile E. Coyote type deal, that wasn't so bad, especially for the time that it came out. And then Sonic Sat AM, that one was apparently great, especially for the time that it came out, because they were making like a cool adventure story. And then ever since then, it's just been the same thing again and again. Like Sonic will make a cool adventure story and put all the like Sonic characters in the forefront of it. Or they'll make like a funny thing like Sonic Boom, and then people are like, hey, this is actually funny. It works. It works. It entertained people, you know? There's a new Sonic show that came out recently. I saw a couple episodes of it. Not half bad. Not even half bad. Like, barely bad at all. It's kind of goofy, I think. But, you know, for a Sonic show, it's not bad. Not bad. I rather enjoyed it. Can't remember what it's called, though. Sonic a Whack in Time or something. Yeah, no. Capcom's been killing it lately. Resident Evil 8 was kind of divisive with some people because it wasn't nearly as scary as Resident Evil 7. But I don't know. I still liked it. I had fun with it. I could find the fun in Resident Evil 8. Because I just love like those wacky adventures. It kind of made me, I think I appreciated it in a similar fashion to how I appreciated Silent Hill 3. Although I prefer Silent Hill 3. But no, in that same way, I like Resident Evil 8 and I like Silent Hill 3 because they're just like fun adventure stories that take place in this weird horror fantasy world. I love the like horror fantasy type stories. Okay. And then this goes you, you, whoop, 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 whoop. All right. Whew. All right. Sonic Prime is good. I hope the new season drops soon. Yeah, I need to check out the rest of it. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, that's where I watched it. Sad AM was one of my favorite versions of Eggman Robotnik. If not just for Jim Cummings' performance alone. That was Jim Cummings, yeah. Is he dead? Is Jim Cummings dead? Do I have to feel sad now because I know Jim Cummings is dead? I mean, there was a lot of shows that I probably don't care about nowadays, like what you're saying with the Garfield show, Frederick. I remember boring Saturday afternoons where I didn't know what the hell to do, and I was just sitting there watching Code Lyoko, and I got like super invested in it, but then I went back to it when I was older, and I'm like, this is not up my alley. Sonic Prime is exclusive to Netflix? Yeah. What is said holds truer when you see... 8 is... Place from where I like and appreciate what I got, but I also feel as though it could have done so much more. I said holds truer when you see plenty of 8's cut content. There's some interesting ideas that went unused. I'd like to see some of that cut content. See what got swept under the rug. Okay, now's probably a good time for me to end the stream. This was going to be a short stream. Yeah, thanks for popping by, everybody. I saw a lot of dudes like fade in and out. Them morning streams can be sort of divisive. There's gonna be like a Saturday morning or something, where I'll have like a really long morning stream. But for now, this one's a lot shorter. Bye everyone. Thanks for chatting. Peace.